Ina in the building.
Let's get fucking rolling.
Yo. So I know Gene has been a big fan of Willie Nelson for years, and I saw this article the other day about Willie Nelson from People Magazine, and I had to bring this shit up with you guys. So I've been hanging on to it for a couple of days so I could to bring this up, and this is the perfect place to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick this off by talking about Willie Nelson on the Shedtime Podcast in three, two, one. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shed Time. What is Shed Time, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shed Time's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shed Time Podcast.
Ah, yes, the air horn. And that means we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of the Shed Time Podcast. I just got myself shed timed, finishing up a little sesh in the old G Pen Dash. And I do mean old because both of these are like 3-4 years old now. Still kicking, still holding up. Excuse me, but I mentioned Willie Nelson at the beginning. I saw this article and it caught my eye. It says, Willie Nelson says he can't smoke weed anymore, but does this instead. I mean, we can all guess. Edibles. But some of the like little quips and anecdotes they got from Willie in this is amazing because basically people's just paraphrasing from an interview with Forbes that he just did, talking about how he just released his THC infused drink Willie's Remedy.
But we were talking about that last week, right?
Yeah, and like it's been taken off, right? And so they asked when asked how Nelson 92 keeps young on the road, he said that he can't smoke anymore. My lungs have already said don't do that. So he really doesn't do anything much except for some edibles. Where was it? There's this friggin' amazing anecdote about him and Snoop. Here we go. Nelson had been candid about his smoking misadventures. In February 2023, Nelson told people about smoking with Snoop Dogg while in Amsterdam. He says, I love Snoop. He and I are good friends, have been forever. It was a lot of fun hanging out and getting to do something. Nelson said that he and Snoop smoked a lot of marijuana and had a lot of fun. He was over in Amsterdam, called him and said, come on over here and let's have some fun. And so we did. We hung out at all the hot spots, Bulldog, Gray Area, and all the good stuff. But then this one was the one that blew my mind. Did you know that Willie Nelson smoked weed on the roof of the White House?
I
Yeah.
could see that. Why not?
And this is verified by the late Jimmy Carter.
Oh, wow.
So-
That's probably about the time he did it.
So
Is when Jimmy
late-
was in office, bro. That's probably
Well, that's
how long
exactly
ago
it.
it was.
The late President Jimmy Carter said that Nelson once smoked pot on the roof of the White House with one of Carter's sons.
Wow. Yeah, Jimmy Carter was president, what, in the 70s or the 80s?
No, it's me, bro. I
Yes.
can't remember. Yeah, yes.
Oh, he was like late 70s into the 80s.
I have no idea.
I feel
I'm
like he
looking
could
it up
have been
for you
president
now.
when I was born.
Jimmy Carter was president from 1977 to 1981. So
Boom! Exactly.
Yes.
That was right.
sick. Thank you, Google.
Which I guess
Appreciate
in
that.
that time, right? Willie Nelson would have been in his like late 40s, early 50s. I also had no idea that Willie Nelson was fucking 92.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he's old as
Damn,
fuck,
dude.
bro. Dude, you know what's even crazier?
He's
Is
still making music.
His son's singing voice sounds exactly like his. It's honestly kind of eerie,
And
bro.
how old's he? Like in his 60s?
I don't know.
If you were to guess,
He's
it sounds
older than
like
I
it could be.
am for sure.
Oh well, sure.
I don't know. I
Unless Willie
couldn't tell you.
Nelson
He
was
didn't
like
look like he
pulling
was
those
like an
late
old man. He looked like
moves.
he's maybe in his like 40s. But then again, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, no, I'll
Age is
check.
so hard for me to tell now, bro. Because if you ask me, uh, like if I looked at someone my age, bro, guaranteed I'd probably be off. I think they're either older or younger. It's so fucking hard to tell nowadays, bro. There's one guy you think that's old as fuck is fucking 20 something, and some dude I think's young as hell is like fucking 50.
Oh, okay, so here's the thing. He has 8 children. And it appears that the oldest one is born in 1969. But like
Where's
he
my mom's
has
age?
ones born in the
Is
80s. Is Lucas
say
Nelson the one you're talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't
he's
know.
got
Okay.
he's got two musical sons, Lucas and Micah Nelson.
Yeah, and Lucas is 4 years older than you. No, 3 years actually. So and Micah is younger. So okay, never mind. Yeah, they're like your age, bro.
Yeah, it actually says that Micah helped produce Willie Nelson's 76th studio album. That's 76 people. Studio
That's
album.
crazy, man.
Last Leaf on the Tree, released in November of 2024. Micah played multiple instruments on the album, including guitar and piano, and also sings lead vocals on Why Me.
Then that's the guy.
So that, yeah, I'm betting that that's the person that James has heard. But yeah, I mean, how do you come from a family like that and not at least give it a go?
I mean, you'd be surrounded by it and you'd probably have more opportunities than most. Number one, you get to like learn and collaborate with your dad, who's clearly been successful for fucking ever.
I mean, that's the best part, right? You have an onboard teacher who knows the craft. Like when I was learning to mix live audio, that was one of the fun things was having my boss, my mentor, Ed, having his son there, little Ed. And little Ed was just getting to graduating high school age. And Big Ed was laughing about the fact, he's like, Bud, I know you want to go to school to get the piece of paper, but just remember, you already know enough to teach the class. Like, you've been following me since you were a kid doing this. Like, you already are going to be better than your teacher in most cases. Like, keep that in mind when you go to school. Like, you're already going to know everything. Don't be a douche. Like, don't be a know-it-all. Don't be a douche. Like, it's just a product of your environment. And I don't know. I lost touch. I don't know if little Ed did follow that or if he just said, fuck it, I'm going to work with dad, and he just got to work. Because I'll tell you what, that kid could mix his ass off. He learned from one of the best in the business. And shout out to Ed McGee and Ed McGee Audio, because best live audio music people in Massachusetts, without a doubt. There's a reason Aerosmith called on him,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't call on nobodies.
It has a hysterical story of actually mixing sound for Godsmack completely just by chance. He wasn't even there to mix audio. He was there to do lighting to help a buddy out. And early on in the band Godsmack's career, they were, still coming up in the local scene. So they were like an opening act. And as they were doing sound check, Ed just gave a couple of pointers to the sound guy. And the dudes from Godsmack were like, do you just want to mix our set? Like, it sounds like you know how to mix our sound. And Ed was like, if you don't care, and you don't care, fuck it, I'll do it. And so he got to mix Godsmack like way early on in their career. And then got to sit back and laugh and see how much they blew up. mean, I get to enjoy the band Seven Spires knowing that we gave them their first show. That was friggin' cool because this like cute little goth girl comes walking up with an in-ear monitor, asks us to hook it up, and we're like, yeah, of course we could do that. And Ed looks at me after she goes up to continue getting set up for sound check. And he's like, this means one of two things. This girl's incredibly talented, or she's not, and daddy's got too much money and can't tell her no. We were very fortunate to find out that this girl was a Berklee School of Music student.
Yeah,
So
there
she
you
was the
go.
former. She was extremely goddamn talented.
You got the
This
better
girl,
of the latter there for sure.
dude, this girl got like fucking operatic vocal training so she could do that. And so we got a metal band that had a singer who could do like opera style vocals and just like regular rock vocals and everything. Incredible performance. And since then, I've been able to continue to follow that band, and they're blowing up. They're like people who feed in on that genre because they're like a symphonic, dark, heavy metal sound. Like the people who listen to that music are loving it. I mean, their new music's incredible. They just continue to progress. And like, I get to sit back and be like, yeah, I saw them for their first show ever. Like, that's so cool to know. Yeah, 27.1 thousand monthly listeners for a bunch of kids at a Berkeley college.
I
That's
mean, that's
awesome.
pretty cool.
You
That's
know?
definitely pretty cool. I mean, that was actually just like on that note of like live music, finding stuff early or like just falling into something. Like that was one of the greatest things for me as like a teenager in my 20s, like when I was like really in the scene. Just like seeing some random band to be like opening and be like the first opener for like a band that you actually wanted to go see. And like you'd never heard of them before. And at that time, like it was way more difficult. It's not like you were like going to their YouTube or going to Spotify. It was like you're going to forums trying to find information about like the opening bands and shit. Some stuff you'd never find really anything. And then you'd be like, man, they were pretty good. And then it would be like 2 years later, and they'd be like playing the Vans Warped Tour in Toronto, or like you'd go see another band that's a bigger band, and they'd be opening for that bigger band, doing the whole like tour with them, and you'd be like, damn, okay. And then they just become something. Like nothing ever, there's nothing ever like turned into massive fucking stars, but like in the scenes, they became big deals, which I always found so cool because I would be like, oh, dude, I remember seeing these guys in like 97 and it'd be like 2001 and they would have popped off. And then you'd be like, this is dope. Like it made you feel like you were there from the beginning. You know what I mean? Especially if you like them and you vibe with them like on that first time.
Especially when you have those stories like I know you and I do, where we went to like those dirty DIY shows and stuff, where it's like somebody rented a function hall and a PA, like to see bands at that era of their come up, and then see where they like. We have friends. That my buddy Mark, he had this band Cold Read, and Cold Read was one of those stories. Like I've known Mark since I was 14 years old, so like it's been probably close to 2 decades I've known this kid at this point. I mean, by the math alone, it's been 2 decades. There we go. So like I've followed this dude's music career the whole time he made music. And for one period, he had this band Cold Read. And dude, watching the fast glow up of that band for a few years was fucking phenomenal because it was literally going from, seeing him in rehearsal space and like a shitty DIY venue to in a year they were on the Jägermeister stage at Ozfest or Loco Bazooka or one of those big metal festivals. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But like they were already playing big metal festivals, touring around the country on the back of Jägermeister's music thing that they did. And it was insane. Like what an incredible come up for those guys. And I mean it's a shame that things worked out the way they did, but now homie's got a fantastic taco restaurant. And it's sick as fuck. Him and his old bass player from that band actually, they make
That's pretty
tacos
dope.
together. It's kind of sick. Yeah, the guitar player unfortunately passed away. Um, but like, dude, just such an incredible ride. And they did a whole blacklight shtick, which in 2003 to 2005 era, like that was boom, mind blowing for the local scene. Like they coordinated with all white jumpsuits and like black light paint, and then they would literally blackout curtain over the stage, set up the whole stage with fog machines and tons of black lights, and then the set would start, that curtain would drop, and just everybody's fucking glowing on stage in a blacked out room, like colorful fucking paint all over themselves in different spots to like accentuate. Like I remember one dude would do like skeleton design up his hand, so when he played guitar you'd be able to see where his fingers were and shit. Like
Yeah.
so visually appealing that like it blew the fuck up. Literally, like we went from uh a little like a Knights of Columbus, like church function hall type
Yeah.
space. We went from shows and places like that to those festivals in about a year and a half, 2 years total as a fandom. Like wild.
It's crazy how fast some people can get like bigger, like not massive, like not to be like, getting a billion plays on Spotify, but just like how fast they can find success. Because I
Enough
guess
that you can
success,
say it's a career now,
yeah,
you
and
know?
like enough that you could have made enough money to buy a brand new car at minimum, not
Right.
like you've made a couple albums for free. Um, but I always thought that that was cool. I never knew anyone really close that that happened to. Like I have friends that have played in bands and like opened for No Effects when they're in Toronto and shit like that. But like they never had like commercial success. Like I don't think that they got any more plays other than like maybe the big Toronto like alternative station. They used to have like a punk night and it would be like 2 hours. They would play like punk and they got some plays on that and shit. But like that's it. But I'm like listening because you made me think about it like back in the day of like bands that like I listened to that ended up getting some levels of popularity. So there's two of them that I can remember like my friends that were in that band. They were in a couple of guys were in a band before that. And this would be going back to like the 90s into the very early 2000s. And then there was this band called the Johnstones and they ended up getting like a record deal. And like they were like all over Much Music. They had like interviews. They did like a live performance and everything with like the hour set kind of thing. Like they had like a moment. And I remember like seeing them play all the time because they used to play with my friends at the shows. And like I was always like, they're pretty good, but like there's something about them I didn't like. And so they ended up like popping off pretty decent. And I just look now and they have 6,600 monthly listeners. Okay. But then another band that played all these shows. Like I can remember the first time I saw this band, my buddy was like, yeah, they're a bunch of young kids, but like they can actually rip pretty good. Was in a church rec hall. Okay. And it was one of those DIY shows like you're talking about. There's probably like 100 kids there, something like that. I was probably like 20 at the time. And was the Flatliners. And like they're pretty big. They were on like Fat Records.
Yeah, like they're internationally known technically, right? Because
Yeah, like they played like Vans Warped Tour,
yeah,
all
like
that
they've toured
shit.
the US and shit.
Yeah, and like they have just over 100,000 monthly listeners.
Well, that's the funny thing
But
too, though,
they've
Chris, right?
had
Like
success. I would
the
say that
music
they
we're
probably
talking
made
about
enough.
though, like those are good numbers for the bands that the kind of bands we're talking
I'm
about.
talking about like punk. Like the Johnstones are like this kind of like punky, like ska band. They have a full horn section and all that stuff. The Flatliners are obviously a little bit different, but they're still like kind of like a dirty, like punk rock.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
No, I know
100,
exactly what you mean.
100,000 monthly listeners. I mean, you're making money, I'm sure, with 100,000 monthly listeners just off
It's
Spotify.
it's weird. It's weird, man. Like I know Snoop's broken it down before, where it's like for every like penny it takes X amount of listeners or X amount of streams or whatever. And like it's insane. Like even the big artists don't make very much on streaming, so your small artists get an even smaller cut of that whole pot. So
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
it sucks for the artist. Ultimately, where most artists can make the most money is merch, right? And that's the best part about these underground bands that like we grew up watching and listening to is that those fan bases love their favorite bands. Like I mean,
Yeah, no, that's true.
I'm literally wearing a Spirit Box shirt right now. When I went to that concert, fucking that merch line was up 3 whole floors, stairs and all. Like, and it never stopped all night. So
Yeah,
like
man.
when you get to that point where like you have that certain scene where those fans are that big of, supporters, they buy tons of merch. And let's face it, like this is a $35 tour t-shirt. It probably cost $12 to make because
Yeah.
of the bulk numbers that they're producing. Like the band's getting a much bigger cut of this t-shirt I bought than the 1,000 streams, 2,000, 10,000, even 100,000 streams I might give them in a year. It's crazy to put that to think about it like that, but that's why I'm such a big avid promoter of buying the physical media and the merch when you can, because that is how your favorite artists are going to get paid. Like a lot of people love Kendrick, and yeah, he's definitely making some thousands, I'm sure, each month with the hundreds and millions of streams he gets, but he gets more of a cut when you buy a t-shirt or a physical record or a physical CD, or if you're one of those vintage nuts who wants to buy things on cassette, which is totally a thing. We've come full circle, Chris.
Dude, it blows my mind.
The
But even
vintage
on that
nerds
note,
went to
dude,
vinyl and then cassette again.
like so my buddy who was in that band that I said before, he was the lead singer of like one of my friends' bands that they were in. And he now they stopped playing like when one of my buddies had kids. So it's probably like 10 years ago. And a couple of those guys started another band up, and they only released their EP in a hard copy on cassette. You couldn't get it on CD. It was only cassette.
I love that.
And honestly, dude, it's like a pretty fucking rad looking cassette. It's like hot pink, like fucking plastic hot pink or hot pink plastic. There we go.
Dude,
I'll
you
get
know
it.
how hard it'd probably be to find something to play that in.
Dude,
nowadays?
impossible. It's impossible. You know how long it's
It'd be
been? You know
almost
how
as
old of a
bad as
car
they
you'd have
put
to have
that
for a
if they put it
cassette
on
tape?
8-track, bro.
Well, no,
But,
that
yeah.
would actually be
Yeah.
impossible.
That'd be pretty fucking hilarious, though, wouldn't it?
I mean, that would be kind of cool. And it's funny because like that's a newer technology than vinyl, but yet vinyl has had a massive resurgence over like the last 10 years.
But I mean, vinyl is just quintessential cool, right? Like,
Yeah,
if you're an
it's been around in the
audiophile,
music I like for ever.
for real, like
but
if you're an
more common shit now.
audiophile, there is a certain warmth that comes from listening to vinyl.
That's what I was gonna say. The sound that you can get out of a piece of fucking vinyl or off that wax, you know what I'm saying, as they say.
Yeah, dude, if you have
But they
like a
don't-
good record player,
That's what
like
I'm
a
saying.
nice good needle.
You can't duplicate that sound in digital. It's just you can't. As much as you want to, it's never going to be that same quality of a
Digital
recording.
compression, you just lose elements of your music.
Yeah.
But we asked, how are you going to find something to play it? Well, apparently Amazon has some Walkmans for like $20.
Huh.
I had
Dude, that'd
no
be
idea.
rad, man.
Like, That's fucking
Well,
crazy.
honestly, just like you're saying with the amount of resurgence with vinyl and stuff like that, there's going to be that one guy that's trying to be, different out of the pocket. Well, oh, you guys listen to vinyls? Well, I listen to cassettes.
Well, I mean, let's face it, right? Like, you can't get that old school analog sound and take it with you on vinyl. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you want
Cassette's about
portable
as close
audio,
as you're going to get. Yeah.
like, but that's
Because even
fucking
those
wild.
recordings are so different sounding, you know what I mean, compared to like a CD.
Well, that's in part because I remember reading Rick Rubin explain it. Every time audio tape gets played, the tape is degrading just a teeny bit. And so technically speaking, every time you listen to
The
audio
song
tape,
gets worse.
you're not listening to the same song again because the audio is continuing to degrade every time you play it. I mean, I grew up with cassettes as a kid, and I can remember Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast on cassette. It was my father or my uncle's copy. I don't remember. I think it was my father's copy, but it was already played pretty heavily when I got to it, and I fell in love with the album. And so I played it extensively. I mean, I remember the warbles from the tape and the crackle from spots where it was just not smooth anymore because it got eaten by a Walkman at some point. Like, it's not. That's the trade-off we get, people, right? Like, we get really consistent audio quality from digital. Every time I play it, the quality will be the same. But on the flip of that, there's stuff I'm missing for sure. Like the audio file world, there's a file known as a FLAC file. And a FLAC file is part of a series of audio files that are considered lossless audio. So they encode all of the audio data. They don't do any audio compression. And so in turn, if a normal 5-minute MP3 is say 5.5 megabytes, that same song as a FLAC file might be 50 megabytes. But the quality of audio you get is distinguishable. Like, I have the same album as FLAC files and MP3, and when you listen to the FLAC files, the bass is not as robust, or is way more robust on the FLAC file. The horns are way cleaner. They're way brighter. You get a little bit more of that audio mix that the engineer in the studio was hearing when he mixed it versus what we got after somebody compressed it onto a CD and then compressed it again by turning it into MP3s and putting it on the internet for me to somehow get my hands on.
Yeah, dude, I had some fucking honestly, I had some fucking classic tapes, boys. Like, I had 40 ounces to freedom on cassette. I had
Banger.
like fucking Blink 182, fucking
Blink 182.
dude, I had a couple of their albums. I think I might have even had their first 3 albums, like major release albums, on cassette. I definitely had like a number of No Effects albums on cassette. I had some fucking cassettes.
Sounds like
I
it.
remember-
And my knapsack, boys, in high school was pretty much like cassettes and my favorite pen that rewound it, because my Walkman didn't have rewind and you'd have to take it out
Dude.
and then, like flip it over, fast forward it to like rewind it if you wanted to hear that same side again.
Side note, I
Yep.
love that you say knapsack instead of backpack. Just wanted to
There you
put that. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Is that what you would have said?
No, I would never say knapsack. I always say backpack. But
Yeah,
I love
it's
the
a
fact
backpack.
that you say knapsack though.
Yeah, knapsack is one of those like very regional things. I think it's either like Midwest or like and Canadian, like, but I definitely know like
It's like
Midwesterners.
soda or pop or
Yeah.
something like that. You know what I mean? Or it's like it's something you don't hear often, but when you do hear somebody say it, you're like, you know what? I like that you say that. You know what I mean? I like
You
that
know
you're
what's funny? I
like
don't
it.
say that
It's-
all the time.
I know, but the
Definitely
fact
not.
that you're still keeping it alive, bro, respect. You know what I'm saying?
I'm here for you.
It brought me
My
back to like
knapsack drops.
yeah. Oh my God. It reminded me of like my grandmother because like I feel like my grandmother used to call it a knapsack. I'd be like,
Are
knapsack.
you guys aging me
Dude,
out
because
right now?
the thing that I think of though, like the thing that initially pops in my head when you say knapsack makes me think of like a sleeping bag.
Yeah, like I'm guessing it comes from like someone who might take like a sleeping bag or camping, like you're
Yeah,
going camping.
it'd be in your backpack or your
Well, yeah,
Your
knapsack
knapsack,
in this
yeah.
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, I
But
imagine if you're going backpacking, you'd have a knapsack
yeah, exactly.
which
Yeah.
has all your sleep gear on it. So yeah,
Maybe that's
like
where it comes from, yeah. Because I've also heard lots of people would say book bag.
so yeah, are you a book
Yeah.
bag guy too?
No, I'm
If a
definitely not.
if
But
a
I've
mugga
heard
took you
enough
book
people.
bag,
Yeah. Yeah,
There's a-
let's take your book bag.
There's a lot of people in Boston, Massachusetts who call it a book bag, kid.
Yeah.
A
It
lot of
sounds like
people.
that would be that
especially
area.
down there in Worcester.
Oh yeah, fucking book bag. Where's my book bag? I left my Newports in it. Of course, in Massachusetts, those poor bastards, Newports are not menthol.
Oh, really?
They're not
Yeah,
here
because we
either.
banned menthol, so Newport put out a non-menthol Newport to keep those smokers.
Yeah, and we don't have
Wow.
any menthol here either. I don't think. And there's
We
no.
can still have
There's
menthol
technically
here.
supposed to be
That's
no.
crazy.
There's supposed to be zero flavors in California when it comes to tobacco products. Oh,
Yeah, like
sorry.
there's
So
no-
Luke.
you can only get original Swishers.
yeah, like we
Yeah.
we can't get fruit blunts
Well,
for rollies anymore. We can't
You're
get
not supposed
any of
to,
that.
but of
Oh, okay,
course
okay.
there are the shops. You know,
Yeah.
that-
They're the ones that do it illegally.
they're the ones that are like, "Hey, fuck it, shut us down," sort of thing. Like
Yeah,
they're
fine.
like,
us.
I say
Wait.
most of the ones out here don't even bother with like swishes and shit, but they definitely do it with Zyn.
see
Because-
that they don't do. Like I can't find those anywhere out here, but they'll still carry. Like there's this vape shop next door, and says he's like, honestly, with the amount of money we make selling flavored e-liquids and stuff like that, he's like, I'd rather keep selling it and pay the fine than to stop selling it and have to shut my store down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
it's the
mean?
cost of doing
He's like, I
business
make
as
enough
opposed
that I
to
could
not
pay the
doing
fucking
business.
fine and keep my doors open. He's like, but if I don't sell the shit, I can't fucking run my business, sort of thing.
I mean,
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah,
it is,
The
and like
fines.
it. I was explaining it to one of the kids in my shop the other day because he didn't understand the whole flavor ban thing in the state. I was like, Bud, you have to, this is the whole thing. And I explained the whole MSA thing, which for listeners who aren't familiar with what the MSA is, it's a master settlement agreement with tobacco companies that basically allows the states that have signed on to take a piece of the tobacco taxes in as revenue for the state. And the conflict there has been that a lot of states have borrowed against their MSA tax income. And when a lot of people found ways to stop using cigarettes, well, that really changed the dynamic of how much tax money they were going to get. And that money that they borrowed against, they weren't going to now get in tax revenue. And that really panicked a lot of lawmakers, and they had to come up with something. And flavor bans were a big way to really shut down the boogeyman that was vapor and flavored Zyn and dip and those sort of products, all these other, kinds of products that, they're enticing the children and they're getting people to stop using cigarettes. We got to find a way. So, but I had to explain this whole thing to this kid. And he was like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy. I'm like, yeah, bud, like we have the data. Like in the UK, you can literally walk into a hospital and they have vape shops for their patients who are there for lung problems. Like, here, let me help you get off of smoking. We have a vape shop. We'll help set you up. In our country, we're like, nah, kick rocks.
You know what's so funny, Sean, is I literally give people the same fucking speech when they start talking about like vaping and shit like that and why things are the way they are. But do you ever like start going through the spiel and start talking about the agreement and how the states did, and then as you're saying it, you just see people's faces just kind of fucking
Yeah, their eyes glaze over.
yeah, they're just
Yeah,
like,
well, because
what
now
the
you sound like a
fuck?
crazy conspiracy theorist.
Exactly, bro. They're like, is this guy on something or what? But I'm like, dude, look it up, bro. It's all
Like,
that.
And
I can send you
ultimately,
links if you want.
that's what I say. I was like, literally, I have a file in my Google Drive right now with links to every damn study you could possibly imagine to back up what I'm telling you. And they go, wait, what? They go, want to try me? Because I have Nick's fucking file. Like, I have it. It's saved. So this way, anytime I want to reference those notes, it's like, I got the receipts, motherfucker. Try me.
Dude, you know what's
I'll
so
cite
funny
the
though?
source.
There's still people that deny those things.
Oh,
I had
sure.
like a brief
But, dude,
discussion like at
there's
my
people-
job, dude.
Chris,
And
there's
like this guy was like, yeah, I don't think that any of that's true. It's like time's gonna tell. I'm like, there's been science being done on it for like over 20 years. Like,
Bro,
I'm not really sure. Yeah,
there's-
look how long it took them to say that smoking was bad for you. I'm like, look how long it took who? Like the world or America? I was like, because in England, it was like 15 or 20 years before America admitted that smoking causes cancer. I'm like, these are the same people that are saying that vaping is fucking less harmful and is encouraging people to make the switch.
but
like,
dude, to his
what
bet,
the fuck are we talking about?
to be the what you may call it, devil's advocate here, there's people that still think Earth is flat, Chris.
Oh, no, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it really doesn't fucking matter what the situation is. There's always going to be people that are going to be like, nah.
Yeah, I just really find it strange.
Even though there's pictures from fucking outer space.
well, that's
showing
if
the
people even got to
curvature-
outer space, you know, like that's how they
oh,
think.
that's Photoshop,
Like-
bro. They did fucking.
Well,
just
yeah,
did
we
that in
faked the moon
fucking-
landing. Remember,
it's
Stanley
so
Kubrick's
crazy.
involved.
Like that shit blows
See,
my mind.
okay, now
Did you get
that's
lost in that?
that I'm not full in on it, but man, would it be kind of crazy if they did?
I mean,
You know what I'm
Dude, it'd be
saying?
the craziest stunt ever.
here's the version of that doesn't get talked about often that I think would be the most plausible. Now, to be clear, I am not a denier of the moon landing. I believe the science that we did make it there. However,
Are you sure though?
it's the lasers and the reflectors on the moon that we put there. That's the only reason that I'm a
or-
true believer.
Or
because
the
we can.
base, or the base that's on the dark side of the moon that we never
So-
get to see because we never get to see that side of the moon.
So glad you went there. So there is a theory that Kubrick's faking the moon landing thing is more about the fact that he had to fake what we've watched in order to cover up what we found. And that it's not a matter of we didn't get there. It's that we couldn't show the public what was there. And as a result, Kubrick helped fake a moon landing.
Which
That one I feel would be the more plausible of all
Dude,
of the.
and there's
the
also a
conspiracy.
theory too that the reason why there's a theory that some of it may have been shot by, like you're saying, like Stanley Kubrick, like reshooting things because they wanted to put out that they made it to the moon before like Russia or China had the chance.
Mhm.
So if they went and just made this video saying that they fucking did it first, then obviously Russia is going to think that they have these capabilities and fuck, we don't have them yet, to make them say like, well, fuck, well, we can't fuck with them now. They made it to the fucking moon and we didn't. But dude, there's also theories that I've heard that apparently at that point in time and still to this day, we don't have the technology to make it to send something through this sort of radiation belt that you have to go through after you exit the Earth's atmosphere. That's in between, you know, Earth and the moon. That there isn't a technology out there as like a fucking plating or armor or whatever you could put on the outside of a fucking ship that would let a human being survive passing through this radiation or whatever. I don't get, again, this is all just theories that I just brought up because I thought it was fun to talk about. But dude,
But it is a real thing to consider, though. Like,
yeah,
we know
if
that there is
true,
increased radiation in space, and that's a valid point, which is, are we even able to safeguard a human life from that radiation as it continues through space? Because technically speaking, like, we've got the probes out there, but
All that's
how
unmanned.
much?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like how much data were we thinking about measuring radiation level and transmitting that data back as we sent those probes? Like a lot of the probes are purpose built, right? Are they measuring that information? Like the ones that went all the way out to like Jupiter and shit? Are they telling us like the further they get out, they're finding more radiation?
And the fact that we haven't been back since, kind of weird. Like a manned mission.
So the official reasoning is that there was nothing of significance to go back for. But then,
Come on, man. How many fucking things have we sent to Mars, bro? Before we started finding some shit.
We can't get our boots on Mars yet. So that's why we keep sending things.
But
Plus, it
see,
seems
you're gonna
like
take
all of the kind of information they've got about Mars is that it's like a much more habitable, like there's higher potential with Mars than the moon.
But even then, this mysterious structure that is perfectly placed within our orbit to perfectly orbit us while we orbit the sun. And not only that, but its gravitational pull directly affects our tides and all this other, like the moon is like one of those weird things because it is closer to the Earth than any other moon is to any other planet, but it's in this fucking sweet spot to where it's like perfectly aligned. Not only that, but is like the perfect size to completely.
Yeah, it's the perfect ratio.
The perfect ratio
our planet
and the sun. To
yeah,
where
so
that's why we have eclipses and stuff, because it is the exact perfect. It's because we're like 400 something times.
The proportions are all perfect alignment, so that way we can actually get a complete total eclipse.
Yeah, it's a trip, dude.
I've always loved the theory that the moon is technically a Death Star.
It's a base, dude.
Yeah, that
the fucking base, dude.
Because there's the quote from the moon landing where they talk about it ringing like a bell when they first landed.
Yeah, because they put these probes and did like these electronic fucking like sound testing. And normally, if you fucking knock on something like that's a fucking solid thing, you're not gonna. It's just you hear like a thud and maybe some slight vibrations. But they said they fucking did it on this thing, and it rang to the core like a fucking bell, like it's made out of fucking metal, like it's hollow on the inside.
I love the theory of a hollow moon and it being some sort of base, like, because let's face it, let's just hypothesize an ancient alien theory here. That could have been a stopping point. It was like a refueling point, a rest stop before you hit your final destination.
It's an observation point.
It could be an old mining rig. You know what I mean? Like,
who fucking knows?
Because like I love the theory that, going to the Anunnaki story, that, man is created as a service creature to, mine the ore for the Anunnaki so that they could do what they needed to do with it. And it could so easily just be like a mining refinery that's now been abandoned since eons before time was, recorded, of an alien fucking race. Like, and we're over here like, it's the moon, it's special. It's like, no, it's a rusty old oil rig in the middle of the ocean that's been abandoned for a million years.
Or, dude, I just thought of this theory, bro. What if it is like some sort of fucking transport mothership that had brought a species from a planet that was, doomed, and traveled the galaxy until it found another planet that's inhabitable, and then transferred all of its fucking people to the fucking planet.
Just say, and now did you just ask if the moon was Noah's Ark? I think you literally just came up with a theory.
Or something of the sort, to where it's like, it was like a last ditch effort for this fucking species to fucking survive, and instead of fucking dying to their doom, they built this giant fucking space fucking transport fucking moon. We'll just call it the moon. Jumped on board, traveled the galaxy until they found a planet inhabitable, and said, "Oh, you know what? This is the spot." And
Establish
fucking,
life here, and
yeah, and then and
boom.
after a while, there's no need for the ship, but let's leave it there just in case. You know what I mean?
Through eons and eons, the people have now forgotten that that was even what it was. Look at
Who
us
knows,
over
dude?
here.
Maybe it was just a
Spitballing here.
planet that like is the past. It's like what Earth is going to be like in 10,000 years. Because like we're always talking about how like
That's what they
humans are
say
gonna
Mars
ruin the
is.
planet
I say
and like
I'm
all that shit.
That's
We're
some
pretty
of the theories
confident
of
that's Mars.
That's what's Mars is, because this goes back to that Terrence Howard fucking talk that he had on Joe Rogan a while back, where he's got this theory that everything is emanating from the sun, right? So fucking the sun's putting out this energy, and the further and further that energy gets away from the sun, it's able to accumulate into a planet. You know what I mean? And then once that planet gets farther enough away from the sun, it's able to create, an atmosphere and life, and then start peopling. And then as it slowly drifts, the fucking atmosphere in that planet starts to change, and, to where it starts to become uninhabitable. And then the next planet that's, in line, because, obviously each planet's slightly drifting further and further away from the sun as time goes. You know what I'm saying? So at one point, Mars was where Earth is. And at that point, it would have been in that Goldilocks zone to where it could have been able to have life. And then over billions of years or however long, it slowly just moved out of that zone. And then as it moved out, Earth moved in. Crazy thought. Makes sense, like theoretically, you know what I mean? I guess. But who fucking knows, dude? I ain't a fucking scientist, dude. And this is that actor who said this. So who knows if he's even right.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean it's not worth thought.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard's definitely said some wild shit where you just scratch your head and go, I don't know about that. But then he said some shit where I was like, you drive an interesting and compelling argument.
You see that the next time he came on and Rogan had a mathematician on with, I forgot what his fucking name is, dude. Super, super fucking smart guy. But even he was saying, he's like, dude, he's like, some of your theories and things you have going on here, dude, there may be some things to it. He's like, but what you also need to understand is what he told him is like, you need to quit teaching and just learn how to explain, because like he still obviously doesn't have all the answers to like some of his questions and stuff like that. But like the dude's like, you're going down a path where you might be finding some shit. He's like, but there are some fundamentally things that are wrong with this, but it's also because you just don't know. He's like, you know what I mean? He's like, so let's try to find you some people that can help you find out those things you don't know, and who knows where this can kind of be, sort of thing. He's like, some of your shit, you're fucking crazy. I'm going to tell you that. But some of this other stuff, he's like, some of this other stuff, like you're touching on some real shit here. This over here, you're kind of batshit crazy. But this shit right here, this might be some thing. You know what I mean? It was actually a really good listen.
Some of what
I didn't know half of the shit that they're talking about, obviously, but good listen.
Some of the stuff I know a little bit about, like what that I've listened to Terrence Howard talk about, is when he starts speaking a bit on sacred geometry. And I find sacred geometry to be super interesting because it's named so because it's the geometry we find throughout nature in the universe. It's the geometry that we can use to explain the growth rate of of plants and people and cells and things like that. And it's super, super interesting the way that these types of geometric shapes and patterns, they are woven in and out of all cultures throughout history. I mean, this tattoo on my arm, this pattern, you can find this throughout history on multitudes of different pottery and art from various centuries. And it is often discussed and believed that if one understands all of the math involved behind the sacred geometry, that one can unlock secrets to reality. Now, what that means necessarily, I don't know. I have a personal theory that the secret information that everybody thinks the Masons are holding over everyone, that some nefarious secrets and stuff, I think they know the math. I think that's the secret. I think they know the math. And when you reach those high levels, you've learned the math behind the sacred geometry and how that all works. That's my personal theory. Because there's some shit like, to start talking about how it all works, you start getting into like fourth dimensional math. And my brain hardly can compute three-dimensional math. So trying to add the fourth dimension into that and conceptualize it numerically and visibly is beyond my comprehension. But I could say, like, if you take this two-dimensional pattern and we turn them into spheres, balls, we get the formulation pattern of cells. Because this starts as one circle, and at continually equal points, it continues to go around the circle and create another equal circle. And it just continues this pattern. And in the three dimensions, that's how cells form. It starts with one, and then it continues to form outward in that same pattern by the same mathematical principle. We've heard about the Fibonacci sequence, and that's how Nautilus shells form. That tight spiral. It's the Fibonacci sequence. Like, plants do it. That's how most flowers come out and bloom. Is with that same twist, that same mathematical sequence. And I think there's something to understanding how all that math intertwines and works that unlocks the secret to the universe.
And how they built the fucking pyramids. Damn it. I'm just kidding.
No, you might be right. Some of that math might literally answer that damn question.
That'd be crazy.
And the Masons, the Freemasons know it.
Oh, side note though, boys. Just I wanted to bring this up earlier, but I completely forgot. So I was randomly scrolling on Vaping Delights the other day, which is a vape site or whatever. And dude, I don't know why. I think I was looking to see if they had that new mech from Times Vape or whatever, just because I wanted to see what the price was going to be on it. And then I found this thing, dude. Oh, fuck. It's not going to show up. It's called a Desolator. Let me find a better picture of it. I'll try to find. There you go. Oh, let me do this. This will work. Boom.
You get it closer.
It's a mech mod that comes with the shortest fucking RDA on top of it. So you see where it's like flared out up at the top?
Yeah.
That little thing right there is an actual RDA, bro.
That's the airflow hole we're seeing?
Yeah. And it's a bottom fire mech from the Philippines. I ended up buying one. I saw it and I was like, dude, this is sick. Let me see if I can find a picture of the RDA.
When did you order it?
Yesterday.
Oh, dude, I hope it's there by Friday.
No, I don't think so. But dude, like Look at how fucking tiny that fucking deck. Oh god, I'm gonna turn the light on. You see how fucking small that deck is, bro? And then that's how short the cap is.
Damn.
Yeah, it reminds me of a modern day Derringer.
It's super small. But I'm mainly more excited about the fucking mech because the mech just looks sick.
The dope
No,
looking mech.
for a Filipino mech, only $150.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's called the Desolator
The Desolator V4.
V4.
I started talking about it yesterday when we were hanging out in Discord, and Will heard me talking about it, and he went and bought the last one that they had after I started talking about it because he went and saw it. He's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." He's like, so he bought the last one. I'll probably have it by like next week.
Oh, dude, on the note of vaping stuff, so I decided that I was like, when I bought like my new mod, right? And I got it and I like ordered a couple bottles of liquid and I've had one and I've really been enjoying it. And I was like, you know what? Like to get the shipping, it's pretty much the same as if I would be buying shipping from like Dwayne's site. It's actually maybe even a bit cheaper than the shipping from Dwayne's site these days to me. So it's like I'm just gonna order some more like super good and I'm gonna just, maybe spend like 60 pounds or whatever and just like get some shit. And boys, I'm gonna fucking buy an RDTA.
What are you buying?
I'm buying here 1 sec. I have it in a cart. I just have to wait until I get paid so I don't feel like a loser that's like spending money that he doesn't have. No offense to anybody out there that's done that before. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's you remember that like really hot RDA? It was a single
Nitrous?
coil RDA that everyone was using.
The nitrous?
Nitrous. Yeah. Dude, it's the nitrous RDTA.
That came out before the RDA, I think.
Did it really?
I think so.
Okay, well, either way, dude, they have them on there. They have every color. And there's a new
purple.
nitrous RTA that's like just dropped too. But it's like twice as much money. And I'm like, I don't really care. I haven't bought anything for a while. And like, I've been wanting an RDTA for a minute. And so I was like, I'm just going to fucking order one, man. It's probably about 30 US to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
they
the
were
shipping's more,
never
but-
unreasonably priced, that's for sure.
No, but I remember everyone was like, man, the nitrous RDA is like really, really good. I remember Sifu used to like always do his flavor testing in it. And he would
Dude,
always be
everybody's
talking
still
it up.
on it, bro.
Yeah,
I mean-
so like I want to get it, and it comes with like the same thing. Like there's a dual coil and a single coil option.
Dude,
like
there's so
two
many
different decks.
fucking accessory and like colors you can get for that thing.
Yeah, dude, there's so many, but I think I'm just gonna get stainless. I was like looking at all the different options. There's
Bro.
like a purple and green one, but they're not really my purple or green. There's a pink one, but there's like something about the pink one I don't like. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna get stainless. It's fine. But I like once again, I'm gonna order it on probably Friday when I get paid on Friday.
Oh, side note too. I don't know if you guys noticed the slight different angle change.
Definitely.
But I fucking redid my desk, and I used to have this like two-tiered like little. It used to be like a little entertainment center, but it was just long enough that it sat perfectly on this side of my desk. So I used to have it sitting on my desk with like shit all on it. That's where I had my RDAs and my battery chargers and like my fucking Q-tips and my little fucking slurp soaker fucking container that's got my alcohol and shit in it. But it just made this side of my desk so fucking cluttered that like I just didn't feel like I had any space. And I was always cramped to having to do everything right here. So like playing games and stuff, I'd always have to fucking clear out a fucking space because it would just pile up on this side of my desk. So I just got this fucking weird hair at my butt on Monday, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rearrange my fucking desk. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do it. So I just started tearing it down with no fucking plan. right? And then I fucking got the shelf off the desk and just started looking. I was like, man, that looks so good not having that thing like on this side of my desk. Now also I have way easier access to my closet because that shelf's not blocking my closet anymore, which is sick. And I just looked over and I was like, I wonder how long this gap is from my desk over my PC to my mini fridge. Because my mini fridge and my desk look like they're almost the same height, right? So I grabbed a measuring tape, and sure enough, my desk is only like a half inch shorter than my fucking mini fridge. And it's like the perfect length to where like I only have like that much space that's getting taken up on my desk, like lengthwise, like this, because that's where the legs are. And it literally is sitting from the end of my desk, bridging the gap over my PC all the way to the very end of my mini fridge. And now I've got my volcano tucks nicely underneath the fucking shelves on top of my mini fridge. And I've got like all of my glass right there. I fucking opened up this entire fucking side of my desk that has nothing on it right now except for like a couple cans that I just drank of some Baja Blast and my microphone stand. Dude, I have so much room for activities on my desk right now, boys. I'm loving it, dude. It's honestly super nice. Not only that, but like for some reason with the shelf just being moved from here to there, my room feels so much more open. Because like there's almost like just like a wall, an extra wall in here because of how the shelf was. And it like I don't know what it is, bro, but it was the smallest little change. And I also moved my monitor, so like now I've got like my nice gaming monitor like in the corner. So now I can game and sit like and have plenty of leg room because like my feet go all the way into the corner. I have fucking one arm rested on this side of the desk, one on this side, perfectly fucking stretched out for mouse and keyboard, situations. And then I've got my other monitor over here with my fucking stream deck for when I stream. The only thing that sucks is now if I want to watch TV, which is over here. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, is that going to work? Is this going to work? Tell me this is going to work. Uh-oh.
He's having a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, I'm so glad I bought the mount that I mounted my TV on because it's got like this fucking hinge that'll make it come off the wall and you can move it to this side, move it to this side. I literally just made it to where it's literally sitting right above both of my monitors perfectly right now.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I need to take a picture.
Yeah, dude, take a picture. I want to see.
He just went next level.
I'm
I'm honestly bummed that I can't run 3 monitors right now because I've got a third monitor. But like, I don't want to bother with getting adapters and all that bullshit because it's so old of a monitor it won't jive with this computer.
Damn, dude, that's pretty perfect.
Fuck. Focus on there you go. Like it's perfect, dudes.
Yes, it's a pretty winning setup right now.
And dude, look at how clean it looks, bro. I'm honestly really proud of this right now. It looks so clean, dude.
Dude, it's been forever since I had a desk that was remotely that clean. Basically, when I set this up.
Oh, dude, you have no idea,
2
bro.
years ago, that's it.
With that shelf being on here, dude, it just instantly got cluttered. Like I put 2 or 3 things on it, and it's instantly cluttered because I had like this much like space that was like out from underneath that like I could set like taller things on and shit, and I kept knocking them over because every time I'd fucking turn around, I'd fucking whack shit. This is just all around better, and I'm so glad I did it.
Hell yeah, dude.
It also makes me also kind of glad that I didn't end up. Well, I might still end up doing it at some point. Because my original thought was at some point I was just going to get a desk instead of having like this L-shaped one in the corner. I was just going to get one that goes across this whole fucking wall right here. just from end to end. That way it also doesn't block, my closet right here with the side that juts out this way. And it makes me also think that that's going to work, but I also kind of want something that's got a little something that comes out this way still, just because the way that this is angled and set up. But it might also work if I just get a desk that's deep. You know what I mean? And then I could just have this whole space here, and I'd even be able to roll this way a tad bit if I wanted to. But I do kind of like this angle. I do hate the fact that my bed is directly behind me, but it also encourages me to make my fucking bed every day. So that's a plus. But
There's
dude,
some
look at
pros,
how much fucking better the sign looks, dude.
I mean,
You can fully see it.
Oh, you can fully see it. I mean, it sort of focuses more on your face than
For sure,
but
but you don't. You get
can still read
the
it.
gist.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
and
'cause
if I
like
turned
before-
it down some, it'd probably be better.
Before, because of the
Whoa.
angle, like there were times it got cut off at the top a little bit. Like now it's perfectly centered
Yeah.
in frame. It's a winning
Dude, it
spot.
goes bright as fuck.
Oh, dude. Hold on. That way.
Yeah,
That
dude,
way.
like,
The
that's
lights up. Like if I turned off my lights, my entire room would be green just
So
from that.
yeah, like you totally
It
just
honestly
made yourself
hurts my-
green.
It hurts my eyes if I turned around to look at it. It's so bright.
I believe it, dude. It's almost hurting my eyes looking at
Oh.
it just on your screen.
There we go.
Does that like create any level of warmth?
I don't know. It's literally LED lights that are stuffed into like this little like clear rubber tube situation that makes it look like neon.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not an actual neon sign.
Yeah. Like do you remember when I would have the little
It's like-
jellyfish behind me?
It's like the LED rope
Same
light.
idea. They're cool, man. Like the fact that, because like let's face it, real neon signs are expensive as fucking
Oh
hell.
fuck
They're
yeah!
cool as shit,
And
though.
damn
They're
near
cool
no
as
one,
goddamn hell, but like
no one
I
that
used to have
really
an
makes
old
them.
school neon clock, like with the fucking like the diner with the friggin' neon around the edge with real
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
neon in it, and that motherfucker was like a $50 clock for like a 10-inch clock.
I don't even think they do neon like signs and stuff the way they used to anymore because of the fucking probably because of regulations and shit.
It's probably the cost, too,
I think
dude.
it's very rare to find somebody that does neon lights like legit, like how they used to back in the day. But honestly, there's this one dude. I don't know if you guys ever stumbled across them. I found him on like Instagram or Reels or some shit where this dude like made a full-on car out of neon lights of like the
The
tube.
hell?
Like he fucking bent and blew the tubing and made a full-on I think it was like a Jeep or some shit. And it took him fucking forever, obviously, because he had to build it piece by piece and like literally connect it all. Fuck, I wish I knew what the guy's fucking name was, and I'd tell you guys to look for it. But dude, it was nuts.
To get real neon, I just found one website starting $279 USD. Depends on size and options, obviously. They offer 11 neon colors, various mounting options, handcrafted real glass tube, $45 flat rate shipping, instant pricing, and all made in the USA.
That's actually not bad.
That's not that
No,
bad.
that's pretty reasonable. All right, hold on. There's a shop
I may be
ready-made
completely
section.
wrong.
I
Maybe
want to see
there's-
what they've got for ready-made and what you're looking at.
Because like, dude,
Um,
if you could spend $1,000 on a really nice neon sign, I don't think that's. If you're a business or something,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
so
would
like
be
this
incredible. Or like a nice piece for like your man cave or whatever. I would
Yeah,
spend that much money on it.
Yeah, like
I
this
mean,
one was-
dude, people spend tons of money on those things.
Yeah,
So,
the
like,
thing
this
that I
one
got
here-
was inexpensive, bro.
is $5.99 plus the shipping. You're looking at 18 inches wide by 15 inches high, so it's not super big.
No, it's not that big.
You know, it's just over a foot tall.
But if you had a coffee shop, that'd be a perfect thing.
Oh,
And I think that
100%.
would give a vibe.
So again, you want to go for something small and less expensive. It's on sale right now for $219. It's a little love in cursive. We're looking at 7 inches wide, 6 3/4 inches high.
Yeah, that's
So
not very big. That's very small.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
like
like
Like the
this,
actual
dude.
love part on that.
It's about 6.
yeah, like the hashtag hustle here, you're looking at $310. The shrug emojis, 300. Oh, 279. How much for tacos? We're looking at 11.5 inches wide by 6 inches high. Just the word tacos. You're muted, Chris.
Yeah, no, I know it was. I was
Okay.
talking to someone in the room.
Gotcha. But yeah, like
I
it
would
gives
love
you an
that
idea at
tacos one.
least.
That'd be awesome.
California Dreaming, this appears to be the most expensive, so must be the biggest. This one's 23 inches wide, 8 inches high, just short of 2 feet wide. So that's a it's not a bad size sign. Under a
No,
$1,000. So I mean, it gives you hope that like this company here would have relatively reasonable pricing. So, you know, maybe if that's something you're looking to do, like this picture here on the bar that they're showing, like these people are able to do it. So like it looks like you still can find it, but yeah, like it's the shit to do it is expensive. So you're gonna pay up.
well, it's also
Meanwhile,
it's custom, and the materials you're using are not cheap at all. So you add the custom and that, because like when James got the Shedtime thing, I bet you that he must have still paid what over $50, right?
Yeah, I think it was like I think that one was even like $100.
Yeah, so like something with a cheaper technology because it's custom already costs that much. I mean, that's a decent size though.
yeah, I mean that's still just work that has to be done. Like somebody has to know how to properly pour the acrylic to do all that and make it all work, and it has to be wired correctly. Like I'm not going to discount that from anybody. And it is a significant value because that sign's going to cost what? Something like that taco, 300-400 bucks in real neon. I'll
Yeah,
Oh
save
yeah,
the
easily.
300.
easy.
I'll save the
Because
300 or
I
more.
looked, bro, because I wanted to get a neon, like an actual neon sign, and dude, for what I was looking for and what I was trying to get, dude, some of them were like $500, dude, just
I
because of the
bet.
size, of that. That's not small.
No,
That
that's
take
got to be what, at least 20 inches wide, maybe
Yeah,
24.
yeah, and it's at
It's most of
least
that window.
it's at least 6 inches tall, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I could totally see that. Like the site we were looking at, I could totally see that hitting that like $600 range, like that California Dreaming one.
Yeah, I think the lowest I was finding was like maybe like 4 if I was lucky, and it wasn't, and then maybe even been smaller, and the text wasn't. It would have been just
Didn't
like,
look as cool.
yeah, and I like that one's okay. There's some other ones I would have got, but they're obviously more expensive. That and when I bought this one, I wasn't just getting one for me; I was buying one for my dad too. So I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
because I
Hey,
could have got one
apparently,
that changed colors too
oh
if I
hell yeah,
wanted to, but it was
could have
cheaper
gone
just
full
to get the
gamer
green.
RGB on them.
But I was like, it's just gonna be green anyways, because every RGB I have in here that's hooked up to anything like my PC, it's all green. Everything's just green.
I just decided to see eBay and see what like neon signs you can find on eBay. Bro, this is pretty sick.
Oh,
US stock rat fink neon sign, 19 inches by 15 inches. This thing is dope. I don't want to spend the money on it, but I like it a lot. Like that is a legit rat fink if I ever did see.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty cool. How much is that?
133 US.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like,
That can't
very
be real
reasonable.
though.
Yeah, this is 100% real neon.
Wow.
Real glass tube, handmade, the whole nine. Like, you can see it the way it's sticking off the backing. That is real glass tube.
Yeah, that's cool shit.
Like, that is sick. Flying Pig, 123, 124 bucks.
Is there like, Homer Simpson or something?
Let's just see what we get here when we look for neon signs in general. Oh, you got your tractor, you got your classic Modelo. Of course, lots of alcohol ones. Golf one. Oh my God, how's that for a throwback? The MTV logo.
Wow. Dude, there's a check engine light.
That one's
That's
an
actually
LED one,
hilarious.
but I
That's
love it.
still hilarious, dude.
I kind of want to put it up in the office at work.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good one. Girls, girls, girls. That's a classic.
Oh yeah. I didn't know you were such a Motley Crue fan. uh, the Indian motorcycle. We got the it's got to be a LED one here for 15 bucks. But we got the naked lady. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's a nice looking sign. So apparently, if you want to buy, actual regular neon signs pre-made, like probably, as you say, brand new. I was gonna say probably out of circulation, but no, they're still in circulation. Back to the arcade for 100 bucks for your little gamer's space. That should be pretty sick.
That is pretty cool.
Well, all right, let's see. Neon signs. Let's see. We have a Homer neon. We got
There's
a
a
Bart.
Bart.
We got a legit Bart one. Not very good looking, but it
No.
exists.
Duff beer, that one would be cool.
I know a perfect bar for that too.
Oh, there you go. Homer with the donut.
That's a sticker. It
Oh.
says. Yeah. Yeah, looks like it's all we get. I wonder if we just put Simpsons, if we get a better selection. No, looks like those couple of Barts.
Oh, that part. That's a different one.
Yeah, those are like the
These are ones of the
ones.
LED style. That's is that a big one for 155 bucks? It's doesn't seem maybe that's definitely a countertop. Where's your dimensions? We gotta investigate. 20 by 16.
That's pretty good size.
It's not bad at all. That would be why it's a big LED sign like that for that much money.
And there's a Hello Kitty one.
Oh yeah. Got a Squirtle. Like there's so many crazy things that people are doing with this stuff now. Like I'm actually kind of surprised. Um, but it's so cool what you guys what we can get done with this LED style because it looks so good. And you get that intensity, like the light intensity control. You get the ability to RGB it if you want. Like it's pretty
Oh, it's
dope.
definitely cool. Yeah, no, it's cool.
The little like string LEDs that they put inside the tube. My wife and I have used those, and we actually used to have them run around the bottom of our bed frame because we're weird and didn't like the height of a normal bed. So I ended up just buying when I bought a new mattress, I bought one of those bed in a box type, I didn't want to buy the bed frame, and all that extra shit for it. So I bought a big pallet from work, took that home, and boom, that's been our whole bed frame for like the last 2 years. So we decorated it with those friggin' little LED lights, and that shit was dope.
Yeah, man.
It was actually really clutch at night because you could set that like really, really like dim, like say red. And that way, like when you got up in the middle of the night, like, I gotta go take a piss, come back into the room, you can see where the edge of the bed is so you don't like stub your toe or anything. It was
I mean,
awesome.
that's pretty sweet. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't bright, so like it didn't affect you trying to go back to sleep.
Yeah, like it wouldn't light up the room really.
Yeah, it was like just enough. It was like the movie theater almost. Where you get when the
Yeah.
movie's running, they just dim the walkway lights so faint. Shit was clutch.
I miss going to like the movies.
And I think that's how people should do their homes. We should just we're using those LED strips wrong, people. We should just be running them down the sides of the hallways and shit in our homes. That shit would be mint in the middle of the night.
That's actually true. That's
You'd just be
actually
able to
true.
like tap a little button and like just your LED strips light up in the middle of the night, just nice and dim or whatever. Now you got like a perfect pathway through the house.
Dude, it'd be sick if you just had like little sensors, so like when you open your door and you walk out, it like those lights just click on because like you've tripped that like laser sensor or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That'd
Yes.
be cool. That'd
Like
be
some
cool.
sort of motion sensor. It's like, oh, there's movement. Turn on.
Dude, I would
It'd be
love that
sick.
in the bathroom. It's like, you just have LED on your like around the base of your toilet, so like you know where you're going, and then you get there, and then if you could like lift the lid, and then LEDs shone in the fucking the
That
toilet.
exists, sir.
Oh, damn! All right, nice. I'm
They
living in the
actually
past.
have LED equipped toilet seats
Dude,
and shit.
it just cracks me up how much time it's gonna take you guys all to install all these LED lights in all these places when it's literally 2 seconds to flip the switch just to
Yeah,
turn
but
fucking
my
light on and
eyes
off.
will. They'll be like, dude, you could have spent 4 times as long, and it's still worth it. Like that's what my eyes would be telling.
Well, because like there's a whole science behind the like brightness of turning on the actual lights and the benefit of keeping them super dim in the middle of the night like that so you can get back to sleep faster. And like I'm saying that that could be a built-in feature if we were thinking about these things ahead of time. Hint, hint, Chris.
Yeah, no, for real.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like,
I know.
because like
Sean.
I'm in that mindset now of like I ain't staying in this apartment for more than a year. Like I'm getting out of here and buying a house kind of a mentality. And so my brain's like, yo, like I buy a house. It would be worth investing in like the nice like uh trim that you would put down like in a movie theater and then
Mhm.
actually laying like quality LED in it and having that all like properly ran so it's discreet, it's not just ugly and out in the open.
Dude, or just get a nice, like fucking baseboard or whatever, and then just take a router the same width as a fucking LED strip and just fucking route it fucking
Yeah,
through, and then you just literally just set the strip into your fucking baseboards, dude.
dude, if you're good with epoxy you could literally just epoxy right over it,
Yeah.
have it
Oh
nice
yeah.
and flush and smooth. Be sick. It would
Oh,
be
there's lots of
sick.
stuff you could do.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't somebody out there selling LED baseboards already.
Let's find out. I got a Google open. So let's see.
I can almost
LED
guarantee it.
baseboards.
If I've thought
Is it-
about it, somebody else has already.
I mean, I mean, not not entirely the way we're talking, but yes, 100%. It is a thing, and they look actually a lot cooler but also way more expensive than your idea.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
Dude, even if you just had like, every 6 feet on one side, you have a small little LED that's in the baseboard, not even a strip. That would be pretty cool. If you had like a dozen down your hallway, like every 3 feet.
because like, we'll go back to that. Like, that does look cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking, but they just did it with metal instead of.
Yeah, like there's like I said, a little bit more fancy, but now you're talking, what is this? That's $16 a count is what that says. So you're buying a huge pack of these, it sounds like. And then here we go. I have too many things open. There we go. Like, there's this fancy ass looking one, which that do be
Yeah.
looking dope. Like, I like
I
that a
mean, that is
lot.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Like,
That's pretty much what I was thinking. Just, but
that's
I think
clean.
if you go back to the other page, Sean, the Google tab,
There it is.
uh, the one right
You got like
next to
this
that
one here.
that one looks almost wood, but even the one next to it, the fucking crown molding for your roof, because that was kind of more what I was thinking right there.
Dude, the crown molding would be like if you did them both, it'd be kind of dope because then you could have
Oh, that's full like movie theater, fucking studio build situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man cave,
Like-
maybe.
having your whole house laid out that way. The positioning of this shit is terrible because the stop share button keeps being right in the way of
Yeah.
my bar, and I'm like, come on, man, don't make me hit the wrong button. But yeah, like that looks clean as hell. My eyes almost hurt looking at that.
Or see, even like that, the 65.99 one from Amazon, that angled LED that you could literally just fucking put at the base of your floor.
Well, like this is what I was even thinking, like because you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
get these
that
and
too.
just run them down the length of your hallway. But like that even being molded is even nicer because like look at the way that can make your ceiling look.
Yeah.
Like
Because it
that
emanates
is
both directions instead of just outward, it goes up and down.
I mean, yeah, like you'll pay up for quality materials to do these things. But
Like
again,
I
like
said, someone's
it's
thought about it.
it ends up looking so good. It's worth it. Especially for like all those little creature comfort things that you think about, like wishing you had ever thought of in the past. Like that's a move. I will definitely invest some money in setting that up in my home when that time comes. Like that is sick.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I'm with you.
Like just the sheer convenience. And then I get to thinking like could just wire that into the main house, have a controller, maybe it's done on an app on your phone.
Dude, just have everything's smart at this point, bro. You can just have
You
everything
know?
Bluetooth to your phone.
That's it. Yeah, maybe it's just all an app on your phone. You just doot doot doot. Motion sensor activation would be sick. So that way, the second somebody comes home, the lights just come up.
Oh man, all those things are attainable too.
You know?
Yeah, man.
Well, it's like when
But
you
when
get it
you're
all
planning from scratch,
dialed.
you're right. It's far simpler.
Like when you get it all dialed though, like I know you can go that deep now to the point that like there are people who can when their alarm goes off, the lights gently come up to simulate a sunrise and
Oh yeah, my lights will do that. I have my lights turn on at 5 o'clock every morning to wake me up. And then they
I don't
turn
know
off
if lights would
automatically at 10
wake me
o'clock.
up.
Well, they don't necessarily, but when I wake up and I see that my lights are on, I mean, oh fuck, that means I need to be up.
Oh, okay.
Because
It's like
I'll
a
wake
warning.
up, yeah, because I'll wake up and I wake up in the middle of the night and the lights are off, oh, I can go back to sleep. But if they're on, that means fuck, I need to get the fuck up.
Yeah, the idea is you're supposed to wake up to the alarm. The lights are like oh hey, it's daytime.
Yeah.
We got to go do stuff now.
Wake up,
Which is-
motherfucker.
And
Yeah,
they
which
turn
is dope.
They turn off automatically at 10 o'clock every night too.
I mean,
that's
it's like
not bad.
we've got the technology. Hell, my damn fish tanks can simulate sunrise and sunset, for Christ's sakes. Of course, we could do it on a light inside.
Is that true?
It's amazing what we can do now. But with all of that, we do have to start wrapping it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the Shedtime Podcast. Of course, we do appreciate all of y'all, and you know how we do. I'm going to start it off with Uncle Chris bringing us home.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you. Of course, go shedtimepodcast.com. Give us a listen. Find some places to help us spread the word. Good reviews and all of that. You guys can come by every Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the Green Room on Frame Shaking Up Vapors YouTube channel. Come by, kick it. It's always just a chill vibe. So come be a part of the conversation. But I think that's everything for me. So everybody be safe. Have a good week. Live your best life. James.
As always, huge shout outs to all the Shedheads for you guys' continuous support. Chris covered all the bases, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to send out all those positive vibes. Chris by fives. Don't forget to tell somebody you love them and a little bag or dab will do you.
And as always, my friends, you know what it is. Shedtimepodcast.com has links to everything. The Frame Shanklin Vapor channel, our Patreon, the show, and so much more. So with that, I'm going to tell you, don't let the best get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick. And whatever it is that you do, try and have some fun, because this is the Shedtime Podcast, and it's time to blow one up and blow one out.
Hell yeah.
Did y'all see that they put Hank Hill in Fortnite?